Again, I'm still here on the project, building capacity around my mouth, but I got something to back it up. What do you think? Let's discuss it. This is Samson to LIBERIA Public Radio. But I want to bring your attention to a show that I'm going to be having tonight. It's going to be very interesting. I'm encouraging all of you, those of you that are listening to this video, to tune in tonight, because perhaps this might be some of the reason why we have all of the mess that is going on in our own country. Because you have to listen to these things. These things, the trouble we've been having in Liberia didn't start overnight. These are things that's been happening from time to time. There are those who came before us, past generation, failed to recognize these things, and will continue to repeat them. And because we ourselves have not yet able to recognize and see if these things can be rectified, so that this country, beautiful country of ours, can be built just by our hands as Liberia. It doesn't matter who you are at this point. Concord country, it doesn't even exist anymore. We're all one another. We're all one country, one people. But if we do not understand why these things are happening to us, we're most likely not going to be able to find solution. So I ask you tonight to join me.
Yet, how does one begin to help people who swim on their own flooded streets to voting booths to vote incompetent criminals back into office?
Yes, that is a big question we all have to answer. How do you help people who will go to the voting booth swimming in their own flooded streets just to vote people in offices who are incompetent? And those incompetent people that are being voted in offices will also appoint people who are also incompetent. So this is like a big deal. How do we help our brothers and sisters to make sure that their voting rights are utilized effectively? They have the voting cards. They must be told how important their voting cards are to all of us. And so I'm saying those of us that have this platform, this is not time for hate. You don't come into this because you hate. You must do all you can to educate the voters themselves, how important their voting cards are. Because of their vote, our leaders be able to do what is right for our people. Join me this evening as I try to explore this particular question and many more that will be coming. Join me this evening at 8 Eastern Time, 5 Pacific, where we will take on this question and be able to see how much we can go. With your help, we, the Liberian people, will be able to educate our brothers and sisters that have the right to vote whoever they want, but they must do so with responsibility. This is Samson Toll, Liberian Public Radio. Thank you very much.
C'est au-dessus de moi, encore une autre fidèle qui l'Amérique n'a pas loupé nous. Quand il va Sylvie, il a quoi qui j'ai loupé presse. L'Amérique n'a pas loupé, t'as mon bien de moi avec moi, nous deux. En ce moment, on va battre au moins, néo. Mon temps d'hier, t'as mon mouillé, on s'est battu pour moi, il pleure. Avec la locale, yo.
Doing anything that people get amended, and they were made from 2005 to date. We're all doing anything. I've done something. Trust me. I'll be re-elected. You understand? So you don't need to fight. You don't need to destroy your country. You don't need to even condemn your country. You have to be inspired, peacefully, and then convince the people, persuade people. Politics is about persuasion, and it's about what you have done for your people. I have done so much that I don't need pay for. You know why I don't need pay for? Because Liberians love me and they promoted me when I was on a soccer page. You understand? And they were proud to be Liberian when I was on the soccer page. And I've done my best for my country. I'm a former peace ambassador. It doesn't matter what people say. I'm on record.
Yao, abela lokeyo, bivito jobai, bivito inamba, matisi mokeyo. Manager Gigi, ouais que jamais forcé ou, si tu connais, tu connais. L'animateur Choco Noscan Yassin de Toyebi, l'homme a tout fait pour Mivito, Aniche les vieux.
Henry, I can tell you the problem of this country with respect to prices, with respect to health, with respect to education, and largely tied to roads. There are no roads. You don't see opportunities where they should be when you don't have roads. From up to 173 years, we only have one road. How do you know what is happening in Bapolu when you don't have roads? You don't go there. The prices of goods, commodities on the market are high because to get them to where they are needed. So there's no way you can, when I talk about road, I'm not talking about 14 road on the sidewalk in Monrovia, $50,000 road and make it $3 million. We're talking about roads that will open up the country. We're talking about roads that will open up opportunities, roads that will get businesses going, and dependency reduced because people believe their goods and commodities can get to the market. That's what we're talking about.
But we will prosecute and will confiscate assets that people steal and acquire by illicit means. I often say that in Liberia, when people get caught, they send their wife, they send their children, they send their relatives, whatever, to come and beg. I'm saying the Liberian people, don't come and beg. You know, don't come and tell me, oh, stand to help you get elected. He talk nice about you on the radio station. Now he's stealing, so forgive him. Stanley should have known when he was stealing that we're going to punish him. So there's going to be consequences. That's the first thing. Then we have to make sure we're paying people a living wage. So we did the arithmetic, we did the math in 2017 that when you look at policeman's salary or healthcare worker's salary or teacher's salary, by the middle of the month, the money finished. By the time they pay rent, they buy food, they pay the children tuition, and of course, they're not going to starve, right? So the policeman will pull you over, the teacher will accept bribe, they change grades.
Good evening, folks. Samson to LIBERIA Public Radio. I want to thank all of you again for tuning in this evening. We're going to have a wonderful, wonderful show this evening. Thank you for continuing. Okay, so we're audible. Okay, thank you for joining. Please share this video as much as you can, and we really, really appreciate your time this afternoon. Safety, Lord Jesus. We want to thank you again this evening for bringing us back here. Lord, we ask you to continue to bless us. Lord, we ask you to continue to give us wisdom. Lord, we ask you to continue to protect us. My Lord, all of these things are only possible through you. Through you. And we ask you, my Lord, to continue to give us the strength to work and do whatever we can to support our family. Only through you that we're able to wake up in the morning. Only through your effort that we're able to go to bed at night. Through you. Through you. Things that you do for us. And then you do the impossible things for us. And we want to appreciate that. I want to say thank you. Thank you for all. And we ask you, my Lord, don't give us on us. Protect us. Guide us. Lord, without you, we're nowhere. Only through you. That our eyes are open where we can see, but it's what you want us to see. Oh, my goodness, the power you have, my Lord, and the help and the protection that you provide for all of us. I want to thank you this afternoon. My Lord, with the Liberian diaspora, we have two tables. One table is here in the diaspora where we put food on the table for our family. We have another table back home where we put food for the other extended family. But because of your help and your loving care for all of us, that we continue to do those things. You give us the opportunity, and we will utilize the opportunity to the best of all of our family. My God, thank you. Thank you. My Lord, we ask you to bless the Republic of Liberia. Bless the leadership of the Republic of Liberia. Give them wisdom to do what is good. Election is ahead. Please, we put Liberians in your hand. We will continue to pray. Whatever it is, let it just be the mouth of debate, engagement. Physically, none. And we ask you, my Lord, because you have the power. You've done it before, and you can do it again. We ask you for us not to even get there. Guide us. Guide the system. My Lord, we ask you to bless the host country, the United States of America. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Thank you for joining. God is great at all times. So, okay, tonight's program, as you know, when we open these mics, we want to be as truthful as possible. Here's a thing here. Let me just explain very quickly. I'm not coming to these things because of hate. I have no room for hate. And don't get me wrong, I hate sometimes, but then I pray for God to forgive me right away. Change me. Don't let me hate anybody. God, listen to me. You know, many of you, I bet you probably experienced that. You get into some sort of a confusion or some sort of a conflict or engagement that your temperature rise or go up. And then when your temperature, you're wondering, why did I even allow myself to get into that kind of argument? I should have known better. Because why? The God you serve is with you. When you get in those kinds of situations, pray. Put yourself before the God. Say, God, here I am. And he will guide you. We all get in all kinds of temptations. So I'm coming to this position here tonight, not because of hate, but I'm going to be truthful. I'm going to be truthful. And truth has a way of revealing itself without you even realizing. And if you don't, some people try to sugarcoat and say white lie. No, ain't no white lie. You lie, you lie. But I don't use that word frequently. And I try to do my best to be honest. Here's the thing here, the way I gauge my honesty. I said to myself, whatever that I say here tonight, God knows what is coming out of my heart. And if I say something that perhaps is not the way it's supposed to go, God would let me know immediately. But as I go to bed tonight and snow like a baby, thank you, Jesus, I got nothing to be afraid of. I'm like, ooh, the liberal progressive. All I say is, let me be truthful. And from that, let's go on. Samson told LIBERIA Public Radio, election time. So quite recently, I believe it was yesterday, before yesterday or so, the Minister of Finance and Honorable Eugene Nangwe were at the ELBC. I have that video. I will do a little bit of it, but not tonight. Tonight, this is it. I know plenty of you is guess, but we're kind of reading it, man. Can't do it tonight. This, you can't see it now. I'm sorry. But it's called Pro-Poor Agenda. The big bogey agaya. What is it? How many pages? 153 according to mine. If you print out all of it here, 11 by 8.5 by 11. 153, 54 the most. Samuel 12 said the paper they gave us, this blueprint, that failed thing. Samuel 12 said this government has failed completely. And this paper here that I'm holding in my hands here tonight, it's not, it's the blueprint. Let me explain a little bit about blueprint because I do know a little bit about blueprint. They have a son, CDC have a son. You can keep your blueprint, we will do our work. Well, how you will do the work when you don't have how? Little pieces of stuff. You know, Christmas time when you're putting toys together for your children, you're not smart. You're just like me. I'm from total, where's smart guy? But what do I have? When I'm putting toys together for Christmas for my kids, they got how to do it. They got this, they say you take this screw and you put it here and you tie it. And when you follow that direction, it will fall in place. But CDC have a son though. You can keep your blueprint, we will build a road. How you build a road when you have no blueprint? This is the smart, look, let me just say here very quickly. People, sedition are some of the smartest people in Liberia. I know that. If you just take your time, that I'm talking about the one that can talk tabata. Don't listen to them. But there are some sedition that don't talk plenty. They don't talk, but they're smart, intelligent. They put the thing together. They put the thing together. And some of the people near I see, some of them I know them very well. I don't tell you what party they come from because I don't want no trouble. But plenty of the people that need here, sedition, smart. I got some relatives who are sedition, very smart. But hey, my people, The CDC business, I don't know what that costs. They always let you put their foot in your mouth. Boom! And they don't take time. It don't take too much time. They rather they put their foot in their mouth. Boom! Then you say, then I said here again. CDC not do it again today. The day CDC do something good, we say we'll come in the president's guy. Man, I like it. When the president is doing something good, I praise him. Even I don't want him to have second term. But he's still my president until the Constitution provision that allow me to say I don't want you anymore. Until that time, he's my president. But every time something good happens with CDC, somebody from that one other side, they say, well, that's good thing here. Let me can do. Then they put their foot in their mouth. And this is what we have tonight. It is very, very sad. However, sometimes we talk politics from time to time, but sometimes it's good to be truthful. And I think I will give it to Minister Tua to be very truthful with us. After he realized that he was being truthful, he decided, if you watch that video, you will laugh. He decided to fall back into a Samuel Tua shell and started throwing numbers around. $27 million out of 27 million people out of poverty in Liberia because he knew he got caught. So why not? Samuel Tua is not dumb. You think Samuel Tua play with numbers every day? He play with numbers. You think he would make that kind of mistake? When he knew very well, Samuel Tua number that his job is just like me. Roadway design, that what I do, he can't go talk about roadway design and start throwing things that I know that. So Samuel Tua, by him throwing that 27 million, he tried to throw it off because he admitted the fact that CDC and this government has failed miserably to reduce poverty level in Liberia. And by that extension, they have failed miserably economically to bring our people out. They failed. I will read that. But here's the book here. Here's the book. So let's do this. Let's do this. I will read the message from the president. I'm not going to read a summary because the summary is a little bit long. If I have the time, I will. Then I will read acknowledgement from the Minister of Finance. Okay. This thing was put together back in, remember when they were putting it together? Eugene Falcon then was the big shot. They were in Ganta. Eugene Falcon was leading the march. I have the video to show. Leading the march. Putting the propos agenda to get together. Myself, when I got that thing, Alfonso Mr. George, Emma George, and myself, I said, yo, this is the good thing that ever happened to the government. People say, but when I tell you, member, party member, I say, yeah, but I want to be truthful. There's people give them, because if you have a blueprint and you operate based on that blueprint that you put together, you will recognize mistakes and quickly correct them. You will recognize things that you're looking or not paying attention to and quickly recognize it. Because the blueprint is how you explain to yourself how you're going to operate, how you're going to help, how you're going to generate fund for this government. In fact, by the way, on that same tape, Eugene Nambwe said the Maritime bringing $30 million a year, but they need to do more, he said. So, folks, this is interesting. Let me read the president's message, okay? Message from the this was 2018 when this thing came out. In January, the president says, now I'm reading, my fellow citizen. In January 2018, you entrusted me with the responsibility of leading the effort to build a capable state that is united in purpose and filled with hope and prosperity. Ah, yes. That is united in purpose. Yeah. That's what you have. Blueprint. United in purpose and filled with the hope and prosperity. You made history through the first peaceful and democratic transition of power in 74 years, the president said. This ushers in the first generation of change in the national leadership through the popular vote since the introduction of universal stripes in 1951. I will remain eternally grateful for this trust and will, to the best of my ability, with the blessing of God, strive to change the narrative on Liberia, bringing about a more stable, prosperous, and democratic state in Africa. This is a 2018. That propo agenda came out. Remember now, the president just made his inaugural speech. Liberian would not be spectator in Liberia. That's the same line he's still on. The euphoria was still happening. Whatever you want to say, palm wine. It was Samson told them were under the influence of palm wine at the time. We believe in these things. Let's go on. Okay. Therefore, I take this opportunity to present to you the pro-poor agenda for prosperity and development. A 5-year national plan from July 2018 to June 2023. Price of rice going up, oh my people. $25 million map out, my people. What is it? $16 billion went missing. What is it? Coastal road coming in Kanye. The light ship supposed to be floating over on the harbor of Monrovia seaport. In Kanye. Okay. We're still back there. Let's go ahead. What is the pro-poor agenda? It is a framework for inclusion. If I read the whole thing from the president, I will leave it short. People who have interest, go and find it and you'll read it. But let me go on. What is the pro-poor agenda? It is, according to the president now, it is a President George Minor WEAH, Republic of Liberia, that we are talking to now. That the man reading out. That I'm my own. It is framework for inclusion, more equitable distribution of our national wealth. Yeah. Some people can't get food tonight. Yeah. The president said this is the true distribution of the national wealth. Yeah. Some county, then don't got hospital. They got hospital, no doctor, then no medicine. Yeah. Hey, my people. Y'all help us. Okay? So let's go on. Okay? Let me read that again because it's so interesting. It is the framework for inclusion, more equitable distribution of our national wealth, and the right-based approach to national development for a new and better Liberia. President, we have said. That time they issue a wealth declaration, declaring your whatever wealth before you go say, I ain't take play, yo. It is the second in a series of plans leading toward the goal of Vision 2030. It aligns our national plan with the AU Agenda 2063 and the Global Sustainable Development Goals. Yes. To develop the PED, we drew lessons from the design of an from the execution of an agenda from transformation. This is something from Ellington. Our recently expired National Development Plan implemented from 2012 to 2017. And we concluded that going forward, we should prioritize investment to stimulate sustainable economic growth. $25 million map out. Some 12, you ain't get it. Create new business opportunity. Let's see. Create jobs, the president said. create jobs. CDC create jobs. Okay? Let me go on. Okay? Create jobs and build the capacity of the Liberian people to prosper and enjoy life in a stable, democratic environment. We will focus on bringing growth back to the economy by increase. A lot of the growth went. They recognize growth went away. They said they bring it back. Because why would you bring something back when it stay with you? That means you are going somewhere. You want to go get it and bring it back. Okay. Back to the economy by increasing productivity through value chain with emphasis on agro. When we want pepper, we gotta go to Guinea to get pepper. When we want good thing, good food, banana, we gotta go somewhere else. But they say they're doing it in agro business now. Okay, agro processing and marketing, particularly fishery. Okay, that one I go to them. I say my mom on that one. Oil palm and rubber. We will promote the production of rice, cassava, and vegetable using new technology. The agriculture sector is a major source of foreign exchange and contribute more than 25% of the real GDP. Not the Tabata GDP, of the real GDP, President said. The forest sector remains another viable area for economic growth and job creation. But the Koreans are taking our logs. Nobody know about it. They ain't prosecuting you. They're pure stealing people log from one farm to another. Nobody say anything. But they say they recognize it. That's a place to create, one area to create job. Yeah. Okay. It contribute between 8 to 11% of the GDP. GDP. I thought I was Gateway. They're talking about what, man? What wrong with you? Gateway GB. Please. From 2012 to 2017, has significant potential for growth. We will pay attention to natural resources governance, to local community can increase their share of the benefit from our natural resources and work with the government to improve regulations of small scale and large scale activities. Liberia will not be spectator in their own country. The president told us they were still in a same vein. We cannot develop Liberia. Let me take it serious now. We cannot develop Liberia without quality infrastructure and a skilled labor force. But when they're being robbed, you see, these are the kind of things. Like tonight, Pa, they say, you'll be ready for me tonight. Because I will tell you the truth. Listen to this. Listen to this. That's why I say, if in that song, this is serious best to go and look it up. You can keep your blueprint, we will build our stuff. They kept the blueprint somewhere else and they're building Ralph Road. You know how they're building it? They're using wheelbarrow and shovel. Allah. You see this, you can't tell me Allah, because I got video here. You tell me say Allah, I pull it all right away. Okay. In this regard, we foresee a new Liberia that is technically enabled. Right now, the way you're behaving in our country, I got 2 children. They're not my kids, though, but they're engineers. If I have my own way, I bring in them out of Liberia tonight. Because some of the work these kids have done that I've seen in terms of engineering, and they don't have, there's no prospect of of even moving anywhere. They're wasting. And if I have my own way, I'm bringing them out tonight. So don't come tell me the technology and what have you. We cannot, he said. Okay. Playing a fundamental, okay, let me read that again. In this regard, we foresee a Liberia. I need to now make every, because sometimes when you read these things and then you think about the way things are now, then it just provoke you to make instant reply, but I will try to keep all of my reply until I'm done reading here tonight. Samson told Liberian Public Radio, we're on there. Okay, so let me start in earnest now. In this regard, we foresee a new Liberia that is technology enabled with information and communication technology playing a fundamental role in improving the lives of our citizens. Oh, okay, I will now say something. Over the next 5 years, my government, the president said, would invest in the quality infrastructure, including roads, affordable energy, air and sea port, telecommunication, ICT, housing, water and sanitation. More importantly, we will invest in our people, particularly in their education, health, and ending vulnerability. Our progress will remain incomplete without the support of key partners, the international development partners, the private sector, and the civil society. We want to acknowledge the pivotal role they have played, reassure them of government commitment to the way forward, and seek their cooperation for the implementation of the plan. We want to reassure the business community, both Liberians and foreign, of an enabling government for your business venture to prosper. Our country is rich in resources and has a young population with tremendous potential. Okay, I will not say nothing right now. I call on all Liberians living at home and in the diaspora to join hands and put aside our differences. After years of conflict and struggle for disease outbreak, we must turn in a direction where we can have hope again. In ourselves, our nation, and our future. I encourage you to own this development area. If I own a president, you want me to own it? If I own it, what they can't yet? Like a holding piece of paper for nothing paper now. Because some of you told you feel that for nothing paper now. And you say, I'm gonna own it. Okay, in my hand. Own this development agenda. Receive it with positive mind and becomes a champion of the solution. Liberia belongs to all of us, and we must now collaborate to build a new and better nation. Finally, he said, I think all those who work very hard to change our campaign manifesto and vision into action for a prosperous, stable, and resilient Liberia. God bless Liberia. Clack, 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 clack. President WEAH. That President WEAH statement. Folks, this is what we have. This is what we have. Okay, let's go on. What Samuel 12 got to say now? Let's go to Samuel 12. Hey, who is sure? I wish to extend Samuel 12 now, the captain of the team. God President WEAH is the coach. The captain of the team. In on the bench, monetary captain. I wish to extend my sincere thanks to the President of the Republic of Liberia, His Excellency George Manuel WEAH, the Vice President, Her Excellency Julia Howard Taylor, and the Cabinet, the Liberian National Legislature, and the Judiciary for your guidance and motivation in driving the fundamentals, the fundamental of the pro-poor agenda for prosperity and development. I am also grateful to other heads of institution, anonymous agency, county superintendent, and various stakeholders for your support in organizing the technical section and mobilizing participants to contribute to the fundamental of this document. We are indebted to various technical specialists participating in such sector working group and other multifactors fear for the time and contribution to the formulation of the pillar goals and result framework. We also acknowledge the suggestion made by the private sector on moving the economy forward in the medium term. Many thanks to civil society organization, faith-based organization, youth organization, women organization, organization of people with special needs, institution of higher learning, the media, and all national institutions for unflinching support to this national effort. Samuel to talking you. We are very grateful to the United Nations system, the World Bank, the African Development Bank, the European Commission, the United States Agency for International Development, the Swedish embassy, and all other international actors that provided technical and financial support during the PID formulation. Specifically, we want to acknowledge the United Nations Development Program, UNDP, and the International Labour Organization, ILO, for underwriting some of the cost for developing technical assistance to support our experts. We extend gratitude to the team at the Department of Budget. Okay, well, I know you can hear me. At the Department of Budget and Planning, Development of Economic Management, Department Administration at the Ministry of Finance. Oh, wow, that's a long one. For the consolidated effort in driving the process and coming up with this national development plan. Finally, let me acknowledge the members of the special team that drew together this plan. Okay, I'm going to need some of them, like I said, I know them well. Mr. Marvin Crawford, leader. Okay, I'm not going to, because I know these people. If I start calling their name, I will start saying, I know that one, so I will not go through that. Okay, this is it. But let me read something else. This is just from President WEAH and Samuel Twe. But I want to read something here very quickly. I'm not going to take time and read the whole thing. I don't even go to the real stuff, the one that I just begin stuff. And I don't read thing here, but let me know on a very serious note. I'm not going to read the entire summary, but I just want to pick up something from there. Okay. All right. And this is coming from the executive summary. The Pro Agenda for Prosperity and Development 2018 to 2023 PID is the second in the series of 5-year national development plan anticipated on the Liberian Vision 2030 framework. It follows the agenda for 20. Okay, it is formed by lesson learned from the implementation of the interim poverty reduction strategy to reduce poverty. Okay. And the poverty reduction strategy. Okay, this is 2007 and 2000. Okay. Let me go a little bit more. The fundamentals underpinning the PID are: one, folks, when we do these things, I want people, because people will be calling here tonight and asking some questions that you will say, where were you? So I want people to pay attention to these. One, Liberia is rich in human and natural resources with a per capita national wealth index of more than 10,227. But two, is deprived of development largely because its human capital lacked the capacity to transform the natural resources into wealth through farming, mining, fishing, or other productive venture that require technology or financial investment. Okay, I'm going to stop there. So the issue is, I'm going to stop here and let me go to the why I'm doing this thing tonight. So after Samuel Twed put all this is truly, I'm in the engineering business. I do design. And most of the time when you do the road design, the geometrics of the process is a little bit complicated. But you have a roadmap in terms of documentation. For example, the geotech tells you what type of soil you're dealing with. The traffic section, they count the traffic, they count the amount of cars, and they separate those cars. Truck, buses, small car, huge, and whatever. They give you the information. It tells you also, if it is a rehab project, it tells you also the accident rate in the section you're working. By knowing, for example, knowing the accident rate and what caused the accidents, they'll tell you the man was sleeping. They will tell you, say, the man ran off the road. Or they will tell you, say, the man came with so many speed, he was unable to control, and he felt the car went off road. And you start thinking, okay, what happened? So when you have those kinds of information, that type of traffic accident information, that will inform your decision-making process in what type of alignment you use, what type of curve you're going to use, how to reduce the accident rate for the rehab process. What type of profile you want to do? You want to raise the profile? Do you want to lower the profile? What is the sight distance based on the information that these people have given you? That's their blueprint. The material that tells you, okay, this type of soil, and based on that, this is the type of material you're going to use for the road to be durable, for the road to be stable, for people to drive on the road for 15, 20, 30 years. They give you the material thickness, structure section. And based on those type of information. Now, with those kinds of information at hand, you're now ready for your geometry. How wide are you widening this road? How wide do we want it? What type of curve we're going to put in it? How do we, what was it being, the sight distance before? Is it being affected? And how do I reduce that process? That is the process of engineering. Blueprint. And when you're done with all your design, and in the design, I'm sorry to take you to engineering because Samuel Twain have been talking a lot of tapata a lot lately. They want to run campaign, but then they want to run campaign, but on lies. And it's unacceptable. I'm not running campaign here. Tell us the truth like he did. But instead, when he knew he got cut, what did he do? Samuel Twain play with numbers all the time. How the heck you would come out and tell us that you're going to take 27 million people out of poverty in Liberia until he got caught and brought back to the conversation? He said, oh, don't even pay attention. No, he knew exactly what he was doing. He knew exactly. So you will not pay attention to his confessing that the government has failed miserably. Because he admitted that. He doesn't want you to pay attention. He wants people to argue. The 27 million, because when you even get 6 million, how you get 27 million out of profit? But he threw that in there so that those people who are not smart enough will gravitate toward that huge mistake. So look at Samuel 12. They both me. He said 27 million when we even get 7 million. But he did that to throw you. So this is intellectually of what word I want to. I'm going to be careful here. I'm going to be very careful. Okay, I found a word. Intellectually dishonest. Let's put it that way. And so I'm not running campaign here, but I'm telling you, Samuel 12, you heard what I read here about Samuel 12. He said he knew exactly what was happening. And before that, before CDC came to power, Samuel 12 used to be a consultant to Ellen government in the finance ministry. So Samuel 12 is not a strange person to all of you. And Samuel 12 is one of the smartest person in this government, if not the smartest, most intelligent in this government. The man throws numbers down like this. like you will drink water. Because his brain is just the capacity of his brain to function. It's so high. It's unbelievable. And then you want me to believe that Samuel Toy made mistake to say 27 million? No, it was intentional. We knew that. I mean, you know, the sensible person like me, you think I'm going to come count on that? But I knew he did that to throw people off. And this is why I'm saying to you here tonight, this is the blueprint they give us. But when was the last time, until just this week, when was the last time they talk about the pro-poor agenda? They threw that aside and decided to run this government based on what they believe and feel would be good. And it's a mistake. It's a mistake. Why do you go to school? I believe you go to college and all the other things then to sharpen your mind, of course, but to prepare you for decision-making process, to prepare you in whatever field you study. It's all about how to. Because that's the only way you're going to be able to improve people's lives. And you see, sadly, as I believe, sadly, we African, we have some serious issue. Let's take, for example, I'm speaking right now. But do you know how many times I have to go into Crown Dialect to try to take the word from the Crown Dialect and put into Morea English? And before I put into what you call proper English, you know how many suffering I'm suffering? You see me right now sweating because I got to speak Crown. They say, okay, no, how do I put it in? No, on a very serious note. These things that we call civilization, we have our own traditional African civilization, but we put that aside and we're picking up the Western civilization, the Western way of running things. So I give it to them. It's not, it shouldn't be second hand. I mean, it shouldn't be first hand, it should be second, third hand. That's fine. And that's why, as smart as Samuel 12 is, he decided, he put his people together. We can't just come in. This was a brilliant idea by Samuel 12 and his people. We can't just come out and say, this is how we're going to let us put a document together, a blueprint. And what do we call that blueprint? Pro-poor agenda. Now, there's two things here that was happening at the time. To impress the international donors for the money forces to be running, knowing fully well that when they get this money, they were not going to do much about it. I believe Samuel Toy and his people knew exactly what they were putting us through. And so this blueprint, this pro-poor agenda, how many people in total that will read a pro-poor agenda? No, this pro-poor agenda was not meant for many Liberians. It was meant for the international community. And they did a brilliant job. Anybody, any organization or a country that will read this, you will want to donate to Liberia. Because for people to know how to do these things, how to reduce poverty, they know what to do. In fact, these people really mess her up. Samuel Toy is so brilliant. I mean, I'm serious. Because in fact, Eugene, we call him genius on our platform anyway. But for me, he's very brilliant. He's very good. By putting this thing out there. Yes, some of the things that most likely some of the international partners were thinking, wow, look how these people put these things together themselves. We're going to support their effort. By we supporting their effort, we do not take our own experts and send them down there because we'll pay more money. They will utilize those people that put these things together. They will utilize them because they are local Liberians themselves. They know how to get to Town. If you take somebody from Germany, you bring him to Morea and say, go to Town, he don't even know where to go. But any of these people that name here, they all know where Town is, where Town will be. So the international community look at these things and say, oh, we have to support that. Now, the disconnect, as far as I'm concerned, the international community bring the money, give them the support. Instead of using that support to do what this document have suggested, and this document telling us what they were going to do, they didn't do it. This document, they explain how they were, let's put the international community money business, put it aside for a minute. But this document, the pro-poor agenda, I've read it lots of the time. I mean, more times than ever, than you can count. They explain to us what are some of the mechanisms that we're going to use to tackle a certain area. Let's say poverty reduction. How do we do that? First, they told us they were going, and that's one of the reasons why I was reading here, President, we are named certain sectors in the Liberian society that will generate funds. So they specify and they identify those areas that are going to generate funds to go into the budget. Plus the international community sending money, they will have enough, according to this document, to do many of the things they wanted to do. But look at the traffic in Monrovia right now. Nothing. What went wrong? Were these same people? These people that put this thing together, what went wrong? Some of them are my friends. Sometimes I really want to invite them here to have the conversation. But then I'm thinking to myself, no, these are politicians. If I bring them on and start asking questions, even though they are friends, but let them stay where they are. What went wrong? These people are highly educated. Some of these people named that are on here, they used to manage hedge fund here in the United States. They were making money for people here in the United States. These are not these are not people you can just sneeze at. Highly educated. Sophistication level for these people is unbelievable. One of them, and myself, I belong to, well, I'm not going to say, but we have had so many people in gathering, have conversation. And when this man get on the podium to speak, and I'm looking at him, is he a Liberian? But I know him because he can speak the dialect. So, but the idea here, he's too smart. He wanted to put this thing together. Put this thing together. I know when he did it, he didn't do it because he wanted to fool people. I believe strong because I know who he is. He's a man with integrity. The man hang with me. And you know me and integrity. No, I'm just kidding. No, but seriously, ever since, you know, I don't want to tell you what party, but anyway, but anyhow, we go to these kinds of meetings, and there are some people right now that are in this government. I know them too real well. And they would talk some tabata. And this guy would say, no. This is not how the country, if we want to do better, that's not how we're supposed to do it. And he helps to put this thing together. But Samuel Tuad got hold of it, make it his own, which is okay. But what happened? What happened? Who put stop to that? For truly managing and implementing what this good document has told us they were going to do. It's very sad. Very sad. Now, let me go to the main subject matter here tonight. Before I do that, let me give you one. The music bring in a lot of spirit, my revolutionary spirit, my liberal behavior. The music bring it out. Let's play. What happened?
Who owns Papa's land? We want to know.
Papa's land, Papa's land. We want to know whose land. Who owns Papa's land? We want to know. Papa's land, Papa's land. We want to know whose land. Who owns Papa's land? We want to know. Papa's land.
My goodness. Why is it?
Papa's land. We want to know whose land. Who owns Papa's land?
Okay. All right, folks. Just let me try to figure out what's going on.
We want to know. We want to know. Yes, we want to know who owns the land. I said
right,
we want
we're
to know.
still
We
here.
want to know. Africa wants to know who owns the land.
Then I'll tap into my stuff again tonight. Okay, all right. Okay, well, there's more than one way to skin your cat. Just hold on. Samson told LIBERIA Puerto because this other one is not giving me the information. But I really want. I hope I didn't talk too much for nothing tonight. I hope not. So, am I? Guys, let me know. Am I? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Yeah. I'm audible. So why my music is not coming through?
Africa is my father's land. Yes, Africa is my own father's land.
Okay.
Will you let my people go?
So why am I not hearing it?
We want to rule from Cape to Cairo. Will you let my people go? We want to rule from Cape to Cairo.
Samson told LIBERIA, But anyway, that's the music. Let me now go on to the main reason here why we're here tonight. No, I seriously, because okay, let me cut this one off. Okay, so the reason we're here tonight is about an article that was written, and I have the video here, Samuel Twe and Nabe in the studio. But I want to read the article on from a Daily Observer, okay? And it's very sad. I just read to you all of these things here about the pro-poor agenda, and the pro-poor agenda. And I'll read this here. Samuel Twe, a mention of the failure of this government. I'll read that to you. But let me just lay one or two premises here first. The first thing is, as I explained, I'm an engineer by training, and that's what I do every day, a roadway to be specific. Okay, but you cannot just get up and start putting the geometric line everywhere and say they call it a road. You have to clearly have a defined purpose, and the pro-poor agenda did that. But if I deviate, no, deviate is not. It's not a correct one. If I ignore the blueprint or the information from other functioning unit and say, oh, I'm from Total, I know how to do it, I will do it all, I'm not going to last. They'll fire me in 2 minutes. I am good as a designer, very good, very good. I don't take backseat to nobody. Roadway design, I take backseat to nobody. I'm very good, very good. And today I throw some tantrum. We went to a meeting and I said, okay, you can take your job, went somewhere else. Immediately, Mr. Toad, this is maybe you're reading it wrong. That's not the intent. You know how we brought you here. Total man. Well, I like it something I can bluff these people because I know my job. So I can bluff them. They want to taste a big. I bluff them. You know what I mean? But on a very serious note, if I were to ignore what make my design ability strong, is because I pay attention to all of the information coming from other functioning units. Some people will even question to say, is this thing real? Yes. Then I say, okay, why is he asking a question? There was a lady, the bridge job that I'm on, and I sent my papers in, and there was a lady, one section of the bridge, they're connecting the old bridge with a new bridge, but then they decided to put a path in there so that as a new bridge and the old bridge isolate and go back and forth like one stuff, okay? So the path can be soft. The same thing that happened to I call it the St. John River stuff, but the path will be able to hold the two bridges together while going up and down because it's going to move. So when I put it in there, she didn't look too much. Mr. Toll, why do we need the oscillation here? It's not necessary. The total man, I didn't reply right away. I went straight to the bridge section and the bridge definition and the bridge their design and reply. I said, Madam, please read this. She came back. Oh, thank you, Mr. Toll. I didn't see it like that. Okay, we move on. So blueprint is very important. And these people, failure, CDC, President WEAH, when I, every time I call his name and I say failure, it pains me. Because I know his ability. I know that he has the ability to lead. But this one is just, I don't know what happened. He just went away from him. Or maybe, I don't know. But because this failure that Samuel 12 is talking about that I'm going to be reading to you here, the reason of that failure is simply because they have decided to ignore the pro-poor agenda. Let's read. Article now from Daily Observer. Twice amidst WEAH's government failure, but blame is on the past regime. Going back to past regime, COVID-19 and others. The Minister of Finance, Samuel 12, has in a startling admission acknowledged the government failure to considerably reduce poverty as envisioned in the administration pro-poor agenda for prosperity and development. The administration from 12 is their mission from 12 is significant drawback and sting to the re-election dream of President WEAH, who upon his ascendant promised Liberian that by the end of his 6-year term, 1 million Liberians would have greater income security. Why absolute poverty will be 23% across 5 of the 6 regions. We had a bet on raising US 6.2 billion. I told y'all. We has bet on raising because they have identified areas where the fund will be raised for Liberia, from Liberian resources, natural resources, and other income, other fund from international partners. And they estimated that they were going to raise 6.2 billion in revenue, grants, and loan to scale up investment in agriculture, infrastructure, human resource development, and social protection to achieve his ambitious promises. I don't say maybe, he promised. Tua, as expected, blamed the coronavirus pandemic, global financial and geopolitical crisis for the WEAH government falling short of its goals, and not as a result of any policy failure on the part of the WEAH to aggressively fight corruption and wasteful spending, which remain the big threats to Liberia's social and economic development. The article that the rest of it I'm going to be reading, they just told us right now why they failed. One word. WEAH, the failure on the part of WEAH to aggressively fight corruption and wasteful spending. The blueprint, the pro-poor agenda, explain
exactly how to guide against those type of ill in a society. The Propo agenda explained how they were going to attack and fight corruption successfully. The Propo agenda, the blueprint, but because they ignored it, so they were unable to fight corruption and wasteful spending. The Propo agenda, the blueprint, was there to guide them, help them. But they didn't see it. They said, no, that paper. Let's go on. The efforts of these obstacles place a significant strain on our economy, limiting the government's ability to provide fundamental infrastructure, to say in an interview yesterday with State Radio ELBC. A media engagement that was intended to project the WEAH administration achievement and defend its good governance credentials as the election draw near. When President WEAH took over the country, he inherited 2 million people living in extreme poverty. The minister said without providing any evidence to back his claim. WEAH pledged in his Propo agenda to take about 1 million people out of poverty. That was the ambitions of the Propo agenda. In the first year of his regime, 27,000, this is the 27 million people now that you are talking about. He knew exactly what he was saying. He used the word 27 million, but in reality, he meant 27,000. People were taken off property. Emission comes as poverty in Liberia has been on the increase, with about 50% of the country's estimated 5.4 million people being poor. 50% of the country, 5.4 million. Half of the people being poor. The increase, according to World Bank, kicked off in 2018, wiped out nearly half of the gain made post-conflict, during which the poverty rate declined from 64% to 42% between 2007 and 2014. Extreme poverty is high as well, and 2.3 million Liberians are unable to meet their basic food and non-food needs, with poverty being higher in rural areas, home to 71.7% of the poor. World Bank data show that. They're not Liberian, they're not Samson told, they're not Liberian. The WEAH Propo agenda was launched in 2018. I just told you that. And was intended to be the government's first step in addressing the country's drastic poverty level. The plan focused on 4 main pillars. Where are you? Where are you, number 9? Where are you, number 9? I hope you here to know. Because you ask a question, can Samson tell? Can Mr. To tell us what are the area the government feel? You tell I number 9 I got mail for him. Where are you, number 9? I waiting. Pillar 1. Power to the, I didn't read that here. I thought I read it. Okay, but anyway, let's go ahead. Power to the people. The four main pillars. 1, power to the people. 2, economy. 3, jobs. 4, sustaining peace and governance. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm sorry. And okay, they say and, so it's the same. Sustaining peace and governance and transparency. Those are the pillars. Honor the power to the people part. Okay. Honor the power to the people pillar. The government pledged to empower Liberians with tools to gain control of their lives through more equitable provision of education, health, youth development, and social protection opportunities. Is it happening? Is it happening? Is it happening? You know, if I was truly on the side of the opposition, I told you here, I got on false error from the CDC government, binder for. I got binder over more binder here than you can count. With so on false error. All I have to do is just bring them out and read them. These are things that are happening with this government that are public. I'm not going to make up anything. The government have made so many mistakes that when you start naming their mistake, you put your hand over your head and cry. Is this thing happening? Let me read that again. Power to the people. Pillar. The government pledge to empower Liberians with tools to gain control of their lives through more equitable provision of education, health, youth development, and social protection opportunity. Well, we're to Cotton. I'm here to know. I'm waiting for you. As for the economy and job pillar, the government promised economic stability and job creation through effective resource mobilization and prudent management of economic inclusion. Is it happening? Is it happening? Y'all tell me, oh, I mean, I number 9. I number 9, just show up. Oh, let's see, it's not gonna be easy tonight. I number 9, just show up. You see, behind me, I number 9, the red, and you know, no yellow business, no yellow boy here. This is red barrow. I on you tonight. I number 9, you here now. No, but the very seriously, he asked, well, Mr. Tour, can you tell her? I'm telling you now. Okay. Let's go on. On pillar 3, which deal with sustaining the peace, the government vowed to promote a cohesive society with sustainable development. Is it happening? Do we have that? On the governance and transparency pillar, oh, they went apart. They can't even talk about it. They can't put 4. We are assured Liberians of an inclusive and accountable public sector for shared prosperity and sustainable development. What went wrong? The other thing I'm naming, they're not there. They're not happening. The WEAH administration, according to analysts, failed to achieve much of its agenda as it was overly ambitious. We know that. But if you're not ambitious, you can't. But you see, this is why. And people are going to say, I'm talking from both sides of my mouth, but so what? This is why I really like this president, to be honest. The way he presented himself when he was playing football, it's the same thing that young man tried to do, but he didn't have no help. He set his goal so high. And even if he's not able to achieve it, but at least he's getting there. But many Liberians that he brought on board with him did not understand that. All they did was this got stuck into the election mode. They've never gotten out of it. They're still there. Sour, all day sour. President, we have set the agenda way up here. And they're down here, sour, all day sour. They're not moving nowhere. Let's go on. Critics say serious consideration were not given to content issues such as lack of resources, institutional capacity, corruption, and the general difficulty of rebuilding a country affected by decades of war and instability. This is where these people that wrote this proper agenda, if you read this, they address each one of these things that I just said that people said the government has failed in. How to attack those things. How to attack it. Not just attack, but be successful at it. It's here. It's in the blueprint. It's in here. All in here. How to do it. How to do it. But they decided purposely to ignore this because if they go by this, they will not be rich. I say so. If they go by this, because the way you are, this thing explained, the monetary money that coming in, 60, what was it, 61.2 billion that President, 6.2 billion that President WEAH said you were going to raise. Let me make sure that I got it correct. Just give me a second. Who cares? It ain't happening anyway. So even if I lost there, so what? Let him come back and say. But anyway, what was it? Okay. But anyway, it was $6.2 billion that he said he wanted to raise. They're all in here. If he would be successful, the way this pro-poor agenda addresses the issue and says this is how you need to raise the money. And if you raise it like this, this is how it's supposed to spend to do X, Y, and Z. They ignore this. That's why they have this problem. Although the COVID-19 pandemic may have played a role, analysts believe that the WEAH administration could have made tremendous progress if serious attention had been given to corruption, which remains the main obstacle to the development of Liberia. You go get contract. Then the people who supposed to get you contract, you get $5,000 contract. Then they say in that contract, the $5,000 they're giving you, they want $2,500, half of it. That the people here, the half of the contract they're not taking the money to build anything, they're taking it overseas. You see what your man made me very before I will not even touch that one. Okay. Without tackling the corruption, the WEAH administration struggles to attract the necessary. They address it, the pro-poor agenda address it, but they refuse. Without tackling corruption, the WEAH administration, the WEAH government struggles to attract the necessary investment and support needed to build strong institutions and achieve sustainable development. Simple. And the pro-poor agenda addressed that. In fact, in the pro-poor agenda, they say if you want true development, true investment to come, the issue of corruption, even if you're not successful in eradicating that corruption, but you must be seen by the partners that you are fighting strongly. Ain't happening? Liberia, as a result of severe corruption, is ranked as one of the countries that are yet to make significant progress in the fight against corruption. According to transparency, and when you go into the transparency international, they ain't play with Liberia now. That international people, they ain't play with Liberia. Well, I did a research on that, but I didn't want to bore you with that. It is in its 2022 corruption perception index. The index painted a particular a picture of economic corruption and ranked Liberia 142 out of 180 countries. The ranking, according to the Central, indicate that Liberia is among the worst declining country globally in the fight against corruption. Central is the national chapter of Transparency International, and its data show that, with the exception of Sinclair's, Liberia has fallen 15 points since 2012. Also in West Africa and the Mana River Union, Liberia is the only country that has declined by 6 points over the last 5 years. Man, on this pro-poor agenda. It says, since 2012, Liberia attained its highest score of 41 on the Transparency International Corruption Index. The country has fallen in free fall. Nobody stopping the corruption train. Nobody. Tapping the list of countries with staggering and declining anti-corruption efforts, Central North. TUA is, however, claiming that while the government did not do much to reduce poverty, it inherits a country with rising poverty. According to him, he ain't show no proof. He just say no because Samuel was smart. He want proof, go look for proof. He said, according to him, during the last 3 years of the 4 years of the previous administration, poverty was on the rise. WEAH assumed office at the time when poverty have already affected a significant portion of the population. And he show anything, no graph, no chart, nothing. Just say, so we won't believe it. Okay. In 2015, he claimed that 1.7 million individuals were living in extreme poverty and that the number increased to 1.9 million in 2016 and reaches 2 million in 2017 by the time they took power. President WEAH inherited this situation. However, in 2018, he took about 24,000. You see something to it? He ain't go 27 million now. I tell you, this man smile. You think I'm stupid? You think I don't know what I'm talking about. He took about 24,000 people out of poverty, the minister said, without providing any evidence. Samson told LIBERIA Public Radio, folks, they all coming tonight. I'm ready for your come. You know, I'm serious. No, seriously. You know, the thing is, I got the paper here to back whatever I'm saying. I have them here. You can go here and say, seed of change, a combination of reducing growth rate, population growth rate. Okay, they go down. Demographic change, economic opportunity, oil palm. They tell you these things. People, they were not playing. These are book people. Everything they say, they even have my town. Total here. How people in Total can get rich. They say in a book. And the people ignore it. And that's why they fail. And with that, folks, Samson told LIBERIA Public Radio. Let me see here if I can put a number up. And it's going to be interesting. But we're ready. You see, this is what I said earlier. Unless I'm making things up, unless I'm saying it out of jealousy, then I will feel bad. But I started the show by me reading the letter from the president. I read the acknowledgement from Samuel 12, and I read a little bit of the executive summary, which summarized the entire Propo agenda. I've been saying it here, God is my witness. I've been saying it here that this is the best blueprint on how to run a government. You know, the second thing that happened in LIBERIA, this is the second one. The first one, they have a code of conduct. If that code of conduct is followed, Liberia will be one of the best countries. It's not going to be free of corruption, but if that code of conduct is followed, but the code of conduct was first violated after it came to existence. It was first violated by the queen of politics, Madame Salih. I mean, they tore that apart. I have no respect for the code of conduct, so I'm not holding anybody else responsible. But I'm just saying. And so, let me put a number up. Samson told, I like it when I bring up some subject matter that have of intellectual discussion, and you have all of the intelligent people. I tell you guys, they plenty of them. They're very smart, very smart. The question is, why they allow these things to happen? Is it because they have no control? We'll deal with that tonight. I hope they will call me. And the conversation will be conducive, I hope. Samson told LIBERIA Public Radio. Let me put a number up, okay? So give me a minute. In the meantime, I want to play music, but I can't even hear my own music. So let me try again.
Free my people, son. We want to rule.
I know it's playing, but I don't want your not to enjoy myself. I want to enjoy too. So I can't hear. I'll not play. Mr. Soko, he going nuts on me right now. He's going nuts on that. So why would I not? Okay. Samson told LIBERIA Public Radio, folks, this is what we do, and we tried our best to be sincere and frank about whatever it is. So let me put a number up. Give me a call, 916-533-2048, if I can see. Here we go. Yeah, the number there. Yeah, the number there. Yeah, give me a call now. Yeah, the number there. Give me a call, 916-533-2048. So while we're waiting for the call, and anytime anybody call me, I would put stop to what I'm doing. So let's go. Let's go. This is, there we go. Hello, how you doing? Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, hello.
I can't hear them.
Mr. Toho, how you doing, sir?
Yeah, okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you loud and clear. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can, but I'm not too sure if the audience is able to hear that. Okay, hold on 1 minute. Hold on 1 minute.
Okay.
I want the audience to be able to hear it. I need to buy another one. This one is gone. This one. Okay. All right. Hold on. Okay. All right. Let's see it now. I hope I can hear myself. Okay. Okay. Hold on. Oh my goodness. Okay. Item number 9. Go ahead, Chief. Yeah. But I'm getting you from the wrong side. Okay. All right. Can you hear me still? Okay. Can you hear me? Okay. Item number 9, are you there? So what happened? Okay, item number 9, call back if you can, please. If you can hear me. Okay. All right. Let me call him back and see.
I'm just good. I'm listening. Hello?
Are you there?
Inside. Yes, I'm here.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear. I think they said they were hearing. Okay, go ahead.
Well, I enjoy your monologue this evening.
Thank you.
I enjoyed it. It was real good. But
thank you.
Let me just point out some things, because it was everything that you read was really, really extensive. And it was very, it's a lot of things to cover. Other people will call in, I believe. But I just wanted to pick the point where you talk about in the president's speech, inaugural speech, where he said he's going to empower Liberia.
No. This is the president's speech is for welcoming the group that during the launching of the Pro agenda. That was a speech he gave. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm sorry about that. I was going to speak directly on the Pro agenda, but I just pick out a point where you talk about.
Okay. Let me hold on. I know now. Let me put Terry on. Connect Terry, and then so just hold on, please. Okay. Okay. All right. I number 9. Aaron, go ahead.
Yeah.
But I don't know why can Alfonso not do anything to me? I put number on, I try to get rid of the yellow business. Alfonso not put something in yellow again. Hey man. Go ahead, woman. Yeah.
you talk about 3 points in the Pro agenda, where you speak about the president empowering, citizens, through education, health,
yeah,
and social tools and stuff like that. So those are the things I was talking about.
okay.
And if you look in the country today, Mr. Toll, let me frank, okay? What do you think the free education is for? The tuition free education. What do you think it's for? What do you think the paying of YFT are for? So, you got other people on the line, other people got a call. I'm at work as well. I just wanted to mention these 3 things. Okay? We're not saying everything is fully covered in the PAPD. No, nobody's saying that. There are some challenges. We agree. Even President Obama, when he took over his first 4 years, at the end of the first 4 years, when he was rerunning, you heard his speech, he said, we made progress. But in order for us to finish the progress that we made, I need you guys to give me a second term. I want you guys in the opposition to acknowledge that this president, has made progress.
Aaron, yes, the thing here, and I'll be very truthful with you. Okay. The issue about the WEAH and things like that, to be honest with you, I feel like the president was pushed or made to take shortcut, because in the hold on now, the WEAH issue in the pro agenda, it surely addresses how the educational burden can be brought about to relieve many of the students and their parents. So the WEAH situation is understandable. That's fine, but that was part of that was just one portion of the pro agenda addressing the educational mayhem in the country. So by you taking this one item in which the pro agenda listed, and you want to make that to be one of the pillars, then you are failing the process.
No, that's not the only thing. That's not the only thing. What about the infrastructure development that is going on in the country? It's mentioned in the PAPD.
Yes. Yeah, but what I'm saying, I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm not saying that you're wrong. All the point you're making, they're mentioned in the pro agenda. But here's what I'm saying to you. They are mentioned along with other activities that will make these things more pronounced. But by you taking these shortcuts, then you're circumventing the whole process, the whole procedure.
It's not a shortcut, Mr.
Okay. All right. Okay.
I agree with you. You're not talking on the same point.
Okay.
It's not shortcut, but we gotta crawl before we walk.
Okay? Then say okay. Okay. All right. Okay. Then let me push you a little bit. Why give us a pro agenda if you know you want to crawl before you walk? Why give us this? Why give us a blueprint when you're not going to follow it? What's the point?
They're following it. They're following it.
They're not following it. I just told you, and you agree with me. So hold on now. Hold on. Let's go into our own way of doing it. For example, you're getting ready to go to work in the morning. So the first thing, in order for you to go to work, I will assume you put socks on, you put shoes on, you put all your clothes on, and you go to work. How can you now say I'm going to work? The only thing I'm going to do, and all of these items that I just listed, that what make you a person ready to go to work. But you're going to work with no socks. You're going to work with no on no shirt. Then you say, "Oh, I dress now." You're not. That's not how you say you're going to dress. And the way you do this, the things that I just listed here, you told us how you're going to dress. And in fact, not only telling us how you're going to dress, but you explain to us the procedures that you're going to follow in giving you the proper dressing code that you yourself have established. And then you're gonna come to me here tonight and tell me, say, oh, you don't got no socks on, but that's okay because you dress. You ain't got no honor shirt on, but that's okay. But you according to the code that you told me how you're gonna dress, you're not following it, and then you want to Aaron. Look, all right, let me go on.
So no, so let me think. Let me just your simple analogy you just gave. Let me just use that same analogy on you. So the work I'm going to wear socks to go to work, does that, if I don't wear socks, does that stop me from working? That's the first thing. So it's not about
you see, Aaron, when you guys argue like that, then this is where I use the word, and not necessarily on you because I know who you are. You and I have had conversation. But people, you argue like that, then I will consider it intellectually dishonest. Because if you say
no, it's not
it is. You're telling me now. You're telling me now the goal. You're telling me the end result. You're telling me the end result is to get to work. I agree. You're going to go to work, but you finish telling us. You finish telling us how you're going to get to work. We're talking about your dress code. You're going to work. The work is the end result, but the dress. So you don't care for the dress code. You just. But why you put the dress code out there for people to look at and accept? And people give you money. The people give them money for the pro agenda. Let me go to another. Okay. No, but that's not the issue. I just gave you that. But the issue is if you give me the code. Now listen. You give me your dress code. You give me your dress code. And I give you money and say, okay, with this kind of dress code, I will give him money so that he'll be able to buy socks, he'll be able to buy X, Y, and Z. And you're going to work without socks.
I'm not saying I didn't buy the socks, though. I'm not saying I didn't buy the socks, though. But if I forget to wear socks just on one day, does that mean that the work will not go on? That's what I'm trying to
all right,
you.
Okay. All right, Aaron. Well, let's.
They will be done the way the government gets the money.
Okay.
That's what I'm telling you.
All right. Okay.
A lot of physicians going to call you tonight. I'm listening.
Okay. Thank you.
All right.
Terry, go ahead. Terry, you're on. Samson to LIBERIA Public. Terry, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Mr.
Okay, can you hold on 1 minute? Let me combine this person with you, please. Just hold on 1 minute. Okay. Yeah, caller, just hold on 1 minute. Let Terry finish, and then you can be next. Go ahead, Terry.
Yeah, Mr. Two, I really enjoy you tonight. You really keep prepared like a real analyst, you know, and you nailed the head. You nailed the hammer right on the head. But 2 points I want to make that you read. All right. The first point I want to make is, you know, the physicians, just forget about them. They will never understand. I don't care what you do. But it is very clear, documented, and you lay your premise and you made your point clear. But the point I want to make is, if you asking for a second term, that must be as a result of a significant improvement made from the first term, and that is where Judge WEAH failed. Judge, unlike Ellen improved during her 6 years from an economy of 80 million budget to an economy of 600 million budget. She paved all the major roads in and around the city of Monrovia with big major potholes. She brought electricity to the city, to parts of the city. She did a lot of improvement as compared to China state of government. So when she went to the people to request for 6 years, they gave it to her. For 6 more years, they gave it to her as a result of a significant improvement. Nobody's going to hand you. Judge WEAH have not done that. Judge WEAH was given a budget of 600 million that he said he improved on, but to the detriment of his own people. And the point you raised, something you read about why Judge WEAH government has failed is very clear. The reason why Judge WEAH government has failed is because he refused to tackle corruption and he refused to address the issue of wasteful spending. That is the reason why his government has declined worse. So as a result, it's difficult for us to give him six more years. because we're going to because you have to improve for us to give you 6 years so that you can become better. But we have seen a significant decline in the economy. So giving you 6 years is like a waste because there is no improvement. You have to improve for us to trust you for additional 6 years, and you assume to us that you have failed. So since you have failed, you need to go back to where you started. We cannot grant you 6 more years for you to carry up back to us, for you to carry up beyond the stage we are at right now. So in my mind, I think tonight you came very prepared and you are punching very well. Thank you very much.
Thank you, and thank you very much. Let me go on to I believe that will be Prince Sherry. Mr. Sherry, are you there? Hello. Hello, 443 number. Okay. So hold on. Hello. Okay, I can't hear
hello?
you. Yeah.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, this is Prince Sharif, sir.
I know that. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay.
I listened to the reading, and let me thank you. Let me say to the many listeners, my people, you're hello, in a common Liberian way. You're hello. But in order to start this conversation, let me say this to many Liberians and lovers of Liberia, that we will not be moved by opinionated comment. Everybody have their right to their opinion. And so therefore, this government and this president have taught us over the period to respect people's opinion. It doesn't mean that your opinion is the fact or they are the fact. I listened to this reading.
And you consider those reading consider opinion?
No, I mean the way in which you are explaining it. And what you have on the paper is one thing, but the way you are presenting it to the public, you are presenting it with your own opinion. For example, you are telling us why the CDC government failed. Why is it that they failed? In other words, if I'm to paraphrase it or to put it in another form, you are telling us that, my people, because the government failed to do X, Y, and Z, that the reason why they failed.
Okay. All right. Okay. That's point taken. Go ahead.
Let me just say to everyone that is on this line, the reason for which we set an agenda, the reason for which we have a format, or politically somebody will say we have an agenda to go by, is so that you as a political institution or as an individual, that your actions can be guided by these things that you put on paper. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to go by A, B, and C. It doesn't necessarily mean, because there are conditions that can dictate that, John, you cannot go this route because of this condition. Let's say, for example, the COVID-19. When we were preparing the PAPD, was it anticipated that we're going to have a COVID-19? Was it anticipated that we're going to have a Ukraine war?
But hold on, Prince. Hold on a minute. Don't be a seditious here, ready to put your foot in your mouth here this evening. I'm rare, and I said I'm ready. There's not a specific mention when they wrote this paper. There was never a specific mention of COVID-19 and the war and what have you. But there are some provisions of global crisis, and look, your Samuel 12 man is one of the smartest as far as I'm concerned I would say the entire land, including myself. When Samuel 12 got the people that wrote this thing, Prince, go back and read this propo agenda. There are special provision in this propo agenda. Then they didn't say pandemic, COVID, but they said global crisis. In terms of global crisis, how to protect and guard against global crisis by protecting the economy of the country. And they name the set. And look, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to spend the whole time now until the election to read the pro-poor agenda every night when I come on, because they address all of those things that you're talking about. Now, they were not specific, but they tell you in terms of global crisis what to do and how to achieve the achievable goal of trying to protect Liberian economy. So don't say those things here that I got that under control. Go ahead.
Yeah, the first thing I want to get in the public there, that the public should understand, that because this particular paper you are reading are not followed in the order that you are reading it, it means that we have failed.
No. You see, you can't do that. This is the intellectual forum. Prince, I will push back. That's not what I said. That is not what I explained here. First, I gave you the pro-poor agenda. And I told you, based on the article, their reason of saying, and Samuel Twa did admit that. There are certain reasons why they fail. And I'm just saying.
Not tell you, a point of correction. He did not tell you at any point in time that this government has failed. No. He did not make mention of it.
But if you come out and say we were not able to achieve X, Y, and Z, that means you didn't fail?
No.
Okay. All right. Hold on 1 minute. Let me connect. Hold on, Prince. Hold on 1 minute. You got time. Just hold on. Let me merge this. Let me merge this phone call here, and then we'll come back to you. Okay. Amos, just hold on. Let Prince wrap it up, and then we're gonna come to you. Go ahead, Prince.
Okay. So as I was saying, relative to the document. The reason for which this document, are prepared is to have.
Let me ask you this. When last you discussed this pro-poor agenda on your show, Prince?
Circumstances. No, what I am discussing on the show is the achievement of the pro-poor agenda.
I understand that, but when was the last time that you discussed the achievement of the pro-poor agenda on your show and making reference to a particular achievement? Okay, so you make when the achievement, were you able to connect it to the pro-poor agenda on your show?
I am discussing the pro-poor agenda. For example, let's look at the issue of education. Or let's leave education. Let's look at the issue of healthcare. I want to say this to people who are listening. Before this government took over as government, the government of Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, about 75% of the budget for health, it was supported by the United Nations. There were various programs, like for example, the MSS. MSS spent a lot of money. The data are here. I also have the data, but because I don't have sufficient time, I will just run over it. MSS spent a lot of money. Our international partners spent a lot of money in order for the health sector to be what it is, especially under the regime of Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. Now, when you look at the regime of President George WEAH, those remittances that were coming from Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf for our international partners in huge chunks, at the end of the day, I need not to explain this to us when only pull out. Most of these institutions that were supposed to or that were helping the health sector, every one of them, they left. We were left with a deficit of almost 2,500 health workers that were never on the payroll of government. They were then paid by all of these are NGOs, and they were then paid by these
Prince, let me just hold on. You can't do this and just run away with it. This is what I'm hold on. When that argument was made in this pro-poor agenda, they also addressed that. They addressed the fact that because they were in the process of requesting the United all the partner to stay, but the pro-poor agenda addressed that and say in case they are unable to stay, how do we? The question was asked, how do you replenish all of the revenue that are going to be going along with these people? And they addressed that. So don't come to say that this thing was never addressed.
This is what we did in order to be able to commensurate that particular portion of our budget that left with the United Nations. When you look at, and this is where people must appreciate this particular harmonization, because had it not been that the government was able to harmonize, where do you think these 3,000 health workers are going to go? Had it not been that the government was going to meticulously,
you see, this is what you do. Your brother on yourself. The wage bill. You know how many people you brought in the government after you came to power, and you want to tell me now that what are the other people going to go?
Mr. Toll, look, the thing is, we didn't go anywhere to import people.
No, I understand that. No, you see, this is a kind of weak argument you got. We didn't go anywhere. Some of the people that you employ are some of them they're my kids. So I'm not saying you did wrong, but for you now to come here and say, where do you expect to put 500 people and think, if you knew you have more employees, why bring on extra? Why bring on extra?
I'm coming, sir. When this government took over, we had almost about 2,005 health workers that was already into the system, but they were not being paid by the government. They were not being paid by government. These people, they were in the government system, but at the end of the day, they were being given staffing by these NGOs that were there, like Medicine Sans Frontier and all of these organizations. But they were working with the hope of, look, at the end of the day, you people will be absorbed in government. And they have worked over time in order to prove themselves worthy of inclusion in the government. So, but at the end of the day, the government were not paying these people. They were just giving some of them staffing. Some of these people were taking up to $50 at the end of the month. You know that story. It's not something I'm making up. Some of these people were taking $60.
Okay, all right. Okay, Prince, wrap it up. Let me take the other caller. Wrap it.
Let me start to lay on this. Let me lay on this, please. I'm begging you.
Yeah, please, go ahead. Let me take the other caller.
When you look at this document, I think we must appreciate this particular document.
I do.
Because in the absence of all of these normal circumstances that were there during the Ellen Johnson Sirleaf regime, this government was able to stabilize the economy. That's why when I hear people talking about 25 million people eat 25 million today, look at the rate. Had it not been because of the intervention of government and the far-sightedness of the honorable genius, Honorable Samuel Tuwe, we were never going to have the rate at which it is today. Look at the global economy. You know, in America here, we are faced with inflation.
Okay.
In fact, as I speak to you now, they are trying to see how best they can be able to, work on mechanism to be able to at least make some significant intervention here in the United States.
Okay.
I want to elaborate on that.
All right. Okay. This is. Let me tell you this one thing for free, Prince. I'm going to because here is the reason here. The pro document here. I've been having it since 2018. To be honest with you, I went to Liberia for the inaugural program. I was there at the stadium, and I had tears in my eyes when I listened to President WEAH giving us that inaugural address. For that particular situation, for me, it goes way deeper than any, as far as I'm concerned, than many other Liberians to have a change of government, peaceful change of government, and to have someone that I have followed throughout his soccer career to be able to be there at the stadium. I wanted about maybe 20 feet or so away from, because I went there as a press practitioner, media practitioner covering the event. So I was allowed to close as much as I could. So I was about maybe 20 feet away from the podium. So I was there when the president and Madame Sirleaf walked from the podium and walked down onto the field where they have another ceremony, that a brief ceremony. So I watched all of that. But the point that I'm making here is this. I'm going to make it my duty. Every time that I come on until the election, I will go line by line with the pro-poor agenda. Because what you guys are doing here, you have the right and you're entitled to it, to defend this government at all costs, short of violence, to be honest with you. If anybody says something that is perhaps is not true, even if it is true, and there's a reason for such for certain process being lacked, you have the right and you must come out to explain why the processes were lacked. And I appreciate that. But what we're not going to do is to accept you guys' explanation as being the face value and move on. So let me just say thank you for calling. I really appreciate you. Always do that. And when we're talking some serious issue, you always call in and make your contribution. But I will continue to discuss the proper agenda and read it so that Liberian can with not only just reading it, they have statistics, they have graphs, it have a gender contribution. It goes by region, go by county, go by districts and everything. This is such a detailed blueprint. And for us not to have these things implemented it's a cause of concern, because the reason why I'm going to do this, we don't want any other government coming to power tomorrow writing this big book, and then when people get hold of it, then they go and do something else. So thank you for your contribution. I appreciate it.
With an agenda, a government will always come with an agenda. But again, to just leave before I leave the platform, I just want to say thank you again. And as you are reading these particular documents, it is always important that you do it in a very holistic and a balanced, manner.
But what did I do here tonight that was not balanced, Prince?
Well, I think in my view, and that's my opinion, I think the explanation.
But Prince, when I have to editorialize, Prince, I'm in media business. When I read it, then I explain how my understanding of what I'm reading. Now you can't come. You have the right to come and say, okay, the way you understood that is not the case, and we can go through we can argue with the Semitic and all that kind of good stuff. But I'm not. Nobody gonna deter me from editorializing my program. I'm entitled to it.
You are entitled to your editorial. You are entitled to your editorial view on a particular paper, or a particular document. But it doesn't mean that your editorial views are the fact.
I didn't ask anybody to accept it, and that's what I took your call for you to rebut, and I appreciate it. But what I'm suggesting to you is to bamboozle me into accepting your explanation. It's not gonna happen.
I'm providing the facts. So what I will want to say before leaving the line is that
Eugene, one of the statements he made, and I laughed. He said that's a second. He said he said there's two truths. So truth, they're not just one truth. They got two truths now. Just like the alternative fact. Now in Liberia, Eugene, we got two truths. One truth and then a second truth. So, but anyway, thank you. Let me take on the other guy.
The thing is, I'm coming, sir, before I learn this, he was right about this. There are people who believe, for example, somebody say, President, we have to go continue our money and carry to his house.
Oh, Prince, let us don't try to pollute this. Don't try to pollute this. Prince, don't try to pollute the intellectual conversation with those kinds of things. You know very well we don't discuss here on this platform. You know very well we don't discuss here on this platform.
We are not giving chance to express our opinion.
We do. You've been on here now for more than 5 minutes, Prince. I had you here for 2 hours at one time.
I'm giving the opportunity. I've been interrupted, but I respect the fact that you keep me on the line. But unfortunately, I've been interrupted.
Okay.
And I can't go back and forth with
all
you.
right. Okay. Well, I hope you will come back another time, and let's do this. If you seriously want to participate on this, we can invite you, and you and I can read this, and you come in with your own proper agenda, and we can read it together. How's that?
I can even use that you're having,
okay. But if I'm going to be reading it to you and you're not having your own, you might not be able to see the words and the lines. That might be. What if I decide to put my own word in it?
Over the period, we have it to our fingertip.
Okay.
We don't need to open that document. We have it to our fingertip.
You do.
Close my eyes.
You do. Let me put you on the spot. Put you on the spot. Okay, let me put you on the spot. In the executive summary, you say you have it at your fingertip. In the executive summary, Prince. Okay. In the executive summary, what does it say? The first line: Liberia economic growth and national development mode. What does it say? Mode.
What I just said
Okay.
is that
All right. Okay.
all we want to in that
Okay.
particular
Okay.
document,
Okay. That's fine.
we have it
Let's
as our
go.
fingertip.
I
And
agree. Okay.
hello?
Thank you, Prince. I will bring you back, and we're gonna you and I mean, because this is a serious business, and I appreciate you guys. You have the right, and you must, no matter what, whatever you see anybody criticizing the government that you are supporting, anybody criticizing or say anything that is not of truth according to you, you must, and you must find way to go on that platform and defend by all means. And then I like the way you do it with respect, but vigorously defending the government, we appreciate it. So I will invite you. Thank you very much, Prince. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, Amos, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that as well, but go ahead.
No, that's fine. LIBERIA, that's why I like your show. So trust me, you are the best talk show host. No matter the size of your listenership, I'm telling you, for me, you are the best. I mean this, from my heart.
Thank you. Thank you.
Every day, and I call you because you are genuine. You're not fake. You're not looking for popularity. But this is what I have to say. You say, talk about Samuel being, like the smartest guy. Let me tell you the truth, Mr. Till. Samuel was a classmate. Have you heard about a man called WEAH Kamara? He was former finance minister.
Yes.
Yeah, he's been making rounds. He was on phone the other day. Both of them were my classmates. WEAH Kamara taught us econometrics. Not taught us. He was like a student teacher. Days when we're growing up, you remember the smartest student in the classroom. The teacher will call him, to do tutorial, when he's not around, That boy is so smart. WEAH Kamara is so smart. In the combination of the best about him is he's not just smart, but he combines the smartness and confidence. So I don't care whoever takes the presidency comes October. I hope they bring that ball. That man, he's not a ball. I hope they bring that guy back as finance minister because he's honest. I'm telling you, WEAH Kamara, he's not only smart, but he's honest. Not like someone is that smart. He's not the smartest guy in the room. He just talks so much. He feels that he's the smartest in the room. That's all. So and that's why when people claim that they're so smart, they know too much, it's so easy to catch them. I'm telling you because they were lied. Adam story. You heard a story last about it, 23 million. How many? LIBERIA has 23 million people. Yeah, a lot too much. So that's what I want to say. And you know what, Mr. Toe? I can guarantee you, if you and Mr. So want to host WEAH Kamara, let me know. We can plan a show.
Well, we'd like to have him. We'd like to have, if you can make that connection, it'll be good to have him on here while we're discussing the proper agenda. Because even though I'm an engineer, but I unless I do some research, which takes some time, I'm not that young anymore. I can't speak adequately on the issues of Liberian economy in way that I would like to. But I can speak adequately on Liberian infrastructure because I do have experience in that area. And not only would I be talking from experience, but I'll be talking from inside information as well. So if we can get somebody like that, that will be able to help us and help the audience to give us some information, specifically on the issue of economy, it will be good. It will be, it's not, even though we're not paying anybody, but it'll be good to have somebody like that and ask our elementary economic questions. And he, as good as you say he is, he can educate us and bring to many of us many elementary mistakes that are being made by this government or past administration, and then say, what to look for, what to look out for, and things like that, to help the audience as well. So I will appreciate him, Amos, if you can make that connection.
Oh, sure. I'll get back to you in a few days on this number. I've had him go. He's been on SKTV. I mean, but he's just the thing about him. He's not only smart, but he's honest. He's just one of the most honest and humblest Liberians that you can find. Mama Kamara, he's just good. Summer 12, we're all classmates. No, Summer 12, he's a politician. Just big mouth, he talks loud and, nothing to back it up. But that's what I wanted to say. And I'll get back to you on this number, hopefully
Okay.
before, from now to, next week, I'll get back to you. And, we can set up a day that he will appear on your show and he will tell you exactly the state of the Liberian economy. But what,
Okay.
Mr. Samson Brancho, have you been to Liberia lately?
I was there about 3 months ago. Yeah.
Okay. When you got there, what time did you get down to the airport? Was it in the day or
At night? At night.
Okay.
8 o'clock.
So if anybody told you that Liberia has done well built infrastructure, and you drove or somebody drove you from the airport to Monrovia after 8 o'clock, maybe 9, 10 o'clock.
It's very scary. It's very scary.
Oh, there you go. You know what? I was leaving from Monrovia. It was April of last year. No, April of last year. I was leaving from Monrovia. I almost dumped the car in the hole because it was raining.
Mm-hmm.
And then both sides of the road were dark.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't see. I said, my nephew and I had to stop, so many times.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't say, no, I would drive. I mean, it was so scary.
Yeah.
And you that I know as smart, an engineer as you are, I know you saw that road. You said, "Oh God."
Yeah, I did. I've done a lot of show about that road. I did a lot of. Even when I was in Monrovia, I used to go live from time to time. But yeah, I would appreciate if you can connect this young man with us. We'll appreciate it.
No, I will. But before I end, let me ask this question. No. I just want to make an analogy. You are to Joseph Boakai as Mr. Soul is the comments. You know why I say that? Because Mr. Soul, Mr. Soul, put your number in yellow. You don't even know how to switch.
Yeah, I know.
You want Joseph Boakai to be president.
I know. I want something. I want something in green or red, barrow or something like that. In couple, I color all over my number.
So how is Joseph Boakai going to bring green jobs to Liberia? How is he going to encourage technology companies to invest in Liberia? No. On a serious note, I'm telling you, why is it that when you call from here, you call for customer service, the calls are routed to either, they're routed to Asia.
Right.
You either talk to a Chinese person or you talk. Why is it Liberia is an English-speaking country, and when this one talking, you hardly even understand.
I tell you. That's.
Yeah,
As you're talking, sometimes I feel for you, honestly, because as intelligent as you are, and we all go through these things where you see something's good in this country, or even as you travel any part of the world, you see something good. The first thing that comes to mind, this thing can be done in Liberia. You always try to attach all of the good thing to Liberia, and to see people are not doing things that they're supposed to do to help all of us. It's very painful. But Amos, let me wrap this thing up.
Okay, all right.
Thank you very much.
I'll get to you.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay, folks. Samson told LIBERIA Public Radio. We gonna let me before I wrap these things up. What I'm going to do now, every night that I come on Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. Every night that I come on, I will do the pro-poor agenda. The reason here is not to expose. Far from it. I don't need to expose anybody. To who am I exposing? To President WEAH is a Liberian. So if he fails, Liberia fails. So what am I exposing? But the reason I'm going to be doing this is that these people had what we call blueprint. They wrote this thing hear. And as you heard, many of the defenders here tonight, I number 9 when I talking on about the dress code, where when you finish shower, you put on your honor clothes, you put your socks on, you put your shirt, you put your pants on, you put your shirt on, you tuck your shirt in, and if you need to put tie on, you put your tie on. If you need to put jacket, you put jacket and stuff like that. Now, the question was to him was, okay, these are the procedures you told me. You wrote your dress code. This is how I'm going to be dressing to go to work, and send it to me. And I said, oh, okay, based on that dress code, I said, okay, well, this young man needs to be helped. Let me give him financial help so that he will be able to maintain this dress code, because I like that. And then out of a sudden, after he finished getting my money, out of a sudden, he's going to work with no socks. You're going to work with no tie. You're now deviating from the dress code. And not only that, you decide for some reason that you're going to ignore the dress code for which I have given you fund. Then who wrong here, my people? And this is what this pro-poor agenda have done. The people that wrote this pro-poor agenda, very smart people, I know some of them. Okay? And they took a lot of stuff into account. Okay? In case of global crisis, what do you do? How do we protect the economy that we'll have after a certain time? When President WEAH said he was going to grow, at least he was going to raise at least $6.2 billion. And the question was, if you have that kind of money and you have a global crisis, how do you protect that investment? And they dealt with it. Now, I'm not saying everything that is written here must be applied at one time. No. But when the president went out, because the education process is in here, but he went out and then they decided they're going to pay WEAH fee. That's taking shortcut, because the WEAH fee and that part of the educational blueprint, how to improve the WEAH fee is to improve the educational system in Liberia in terms of the young people having to be relieved of some monetary burden and their parents. So if you do that, yes, but the blueprint addresses that. Now, they didn't say do this to WEAH fee and things like that, but they explain where the fund's supposed to be coming from. And that's supposed to be coming from the president's pocket. So anyway, folks, yeah, wow. The other one, Ivan tonight, Logan, you read it on me. I like that. But thank you guys for joining. We appreciate it. Again, once we do these things, it's not in terms of hate or anything. We just want to make sure we have these kinds of conversation among ourselves. Okay? So, no, that's not what they say. They say here, look, Logan, go and read it. Listen to this. Listen to this. A 5-year national development plan from 2018 to 2023. You hear what I said? A 5-year national development plan toward accelerated, inclusive, and sustainable development. Accelerated. That means they're going to make it quick. They're going to accelerate. But you see, looking, I beg you, begin. You read it and you see it. But anyway, let me leave it as that. I want to thank all of you for tuning in tonight. I think we with your support, I think we're getting somewhere. So join us tomorrow on Mr. Soul Show, where the liberal, I will take Mr. Soul and his buddy to talk tomorrow. Why they keep giving me IE color when he knows he's the chief, he's the boss here? Why is he always giving me IE color? I would like to find out from him. Why am I not getting Barrow color or even Bame color? If he can't give me Barrow color, give me Bame color. But why are you giving me IE color? Okay, we'll discuss that tomorrow. Samson told LIBERIA Public Radio, I want to thank all of you again for this wonderful, wonderful show. Again, we'll say thank you and good night, folks.